How is it going, adventures? Seraph here. I'm doing an updated review of the Ishkur Razer chair. It's been a while since I've done this. This is my third attempt trying to make this video. It's actually turned into somewhat of a cursed video because every time I try to do this, the first videos I made were all sporadic and I was going to piece them together. And then when I pieced them together, the video file got corrupted and I have to wait for the right lighting because what I'm doing right now is I'm doing this in the sun setting light. So there's only a certain time of day I can do this. I also had to put together a backdrop because I don't have a gaming room per se, and this is the best I could do to, well, show you what's going on here. And boy, these curtains are fuzzy. I'm going to have to clean those eventually. So, this is the chair. I wanted you to see it in the sunlight. I'll pull a little bit closer to these curtains here, I guess, that I've opened. This is the back. Now I've had this for, well, ever since that last video that I uploaded, and it's seen some use, mostly by their family members. Any little grubby paws that get their hands on it, you know, it can get wiped off really easily with just, I recommend a cloth, like a microfiber or something that's no cleaners. Don't use any soap. If you had to use soap, use something really mild, like a Dove soap or something that's like not antibacterial. I mean, again, unless somebody was sick in it and you had to, but basically it's really easy to clean because of the leather finish. And if you don't have the Paimon version, if you've got one that's leather, I'm sure it's the same with those as well. I did finally put these on. Just a word of warning, you see how this looks like it's puckered? It's because it is. I screwed it in too tight. I didn't realize that because of the lighting at the time. It's not bad, but just keep in mind you don't need to screw it in quite so tight. And once these caps are on, they're on. You're not getting these off. I mean, I'm not sure how I'd get those out of there. Something to maybe stick on this and work it out, but if you try to fit something in there, I bet your Razer actually has some tips on some video they've got out there somewhere, but I don't know how to get these off. So just be careful. Once you get this on, once you do that, it's on for good. Now, another thing I've noticed too, when I advised to put this foam that came with the packaging in there just out of convenience, it does get like depressed and flat and like it is covering the leather to protect it. But I would advise, if you've got the time and plan ahead, you should probably use a different material to put in there, like a cosplay foam. As a matter of fact, I got one. I'll show you in a second. And I forgot to mention the cosplay foam. So this is what it is. This is a thin piece, actually. You can get it at local craft stores. I recommend if you're going to get into cosplay, you order it online in bulk. That'd be the better way to go. But I should have taken something like this and doubled up and put it between that, or even single layer might be good enough. But if you can do it ahead of time, I recommend having this to put between those pieces or to trim that plastic, as I'm about to mention in the video. So this is the cosplay foam I was talking about. I'll pause and show you because it would have been better than this. You know, maybe someday I'll figure out how to get these off and put a cosplay foam in there, but it's fine. It, at least for now, offers some protection in there. Again, I just didn't want that plastic ridge to damage the leather. And if you wanted to, you could probably, if you're skilled enough, just take this piece and you could shave off or smooth the plastic edge, and then you wouldn't really need to worry so much about it probably, but just my advice on that. So I went ahead and put all that together. These things are still great. I love how it's easy to, well, it's already in the low position. Easy to adjust that stuff. I love it. And it's like this really, it's squishy, but it's also firm. I like it. This should last a long time unless it's being abused. I would say it's going to last a long time. Try to get out of the way of the light here. I'm going to move it in sunlight more, but I really do like it. Now, these don't slide forward and back. I've seen some chairs that this goes forward or back. These just go like that. And it's not bad. And that's the lowest setting. The chair itself is currently in the lowest setting. And like I said, I'm 6 foot, about 175 pounds, something like that. I vary from week to week. 165 to 175, something like that. I stay about the same. And that's the lowest setting position. And as you can see here by that, let me just raise it up so you can see how much higher this will go. There we go. That's the highest setting. So it goes up quite a bit. If you're a tall person, this is going to be an ideal chair for you. I bet you this thing could handle a doctor disrespect, man. It's been a long day. I had to go through a lot just to get this video recorded. I'm not going to piece it. I'm not going to take a bunch of different ones because I don't want it being corrupted again like I had happen with those other ones I tried to compile. So hopefully I can get this done without sounding too illiterate. I do have a little bit of dyslexia, so bear with me. This thing right here was the only defect, and it's not a defect, it's just this thing didn't get put in there correctly, so you see it's sticking out like that. All I'd have to do is unscrew this all the way and fit in there. It's just supposed to protect from dust and the coil or whatever's in there. This adjusts the firmness of the chair on the tilt aspect, and I'll show you how that works. So depending on how you tighten this or loosen it, it'll make it tip backwards or forwards easier. I recommend on a firmer setting until you get comfortable with how it works, and then maybe, you know, loosen it or whatever. Speaking of loosened stuff, as long as you're not rolling around on carpet like this while you're sitting in the chair, you never should have it be wobbly. I want to show you here. Can you see when I'm trying to shake this around how it's not being wobbly from that base that I've attached there? A lot of people complain that happens to them where it starts separating this part right here from the base, and then they have to order a new one. These probably weren't put in the right way when they got it. I'm not saying that to knock anybody, but if you don't tighten, you just go around and you keep tightening a little bit at a time until you finally get it to where you can't really turn it much further without over tightening. Because if you over tighten, that could cause a problem too, cause some of the looseness where it starts to separate. But if you under tighten, then it's going to slip as well, and that'll cause a problem. So it's hard to say what the best torqueness is there. I would say just try to hand tighten until you feel like it's too much and just stop there. I think an average adult could probably do that without any trouble. But I think the part that's causing the separation there, honestly, is unless you're on a hard floor, if you don't stand up and move your chair where you want it and then reposition yourself that way, if you try to stay sitting in it and you're scooting all over the place while you're gaming or something like that on a carpeted floor, this is a pretty low carpet, but if you used one that's much thicker, it's going to just eventually separate these from the base, and that's going to cause you a problem with that. And that'll happen even if this is actually steel on steel. And then there's something attached to, you know, this is attached to the chair itself. It'll eventually start to loosen, just to put that out there. That's just normal wear and tear. That's what happens. All right, what else did I want to mention here? Oh, this thing's kind of cool. You can see it in the light pretty good, I hope. It actually has on here the directions on the, obviously up, down, to adjust the height of the chair. The free and lock, now that's where if you push in, it's very slight. Can you see that? So free means you can tilt the chair back, like I was saying. If I was sitting in it, I could tilt it backwards. So you got a bit of a recline. Not a lot, because if you recline too much, you just tip over. But it's got a bit of a recline, and that's what that's for, and that's what this tensioner here is for. So I'm not going to really be tilting it, so I'll just leave it in the lock position. I don't know, it's not going to matter. I've got it so tight here that honestly it wouldn't tilt very easily, I mean, unless I really forced it to. I think I was going to mention something about this. This is pretty stiff, especially when you first start using it. Don't feel like your chair's broken. You're going to have to tilt this all the way back. See, I release it forward now. So don't get discouraged if you're like, my chair's not working. You got to pull all the way back, and it'll get looser with time. It'll be easier, but initially that's going to take some effort to get that broken, as they say. I think I've covered pretty much everything. One thing I mentioned, I guess, in my other little video compilation that got ruined, was I did have somebody sit in this chair, a family member, and they spilled food, and it was like drink and liquid and such, and oh man, I was, needless to say, very, very unhappy. Now that sound you're hearing is not from that. It's just from being together. Just from being together for a while. If that ever happens to you, just note, be very careful when you go to wipe it out. Get a damp cloth, several damp cloths actually, and just kind of work your way in and work out the top layer of gunk first, and then just progressively go deeper. This does separate pretty easily. I don't know if you can see this. Let me get in the light. Hold on. Oh, I just realized how long this video is going. I'd better wrap it up here. Let me get it more in the light. All right, let's do this side. The light's shining pretty good there. Don't even see this, but this actually separates here, and you can wipe out. See the light shine underneath? You can actually wipe all the way to the bottom. It's got like a leather kind of connect there, where like the top leather chair touches the bottom leather, and you can wipe that out all the way to the bottom. I'll go underneath and show you what that's like on the bottom. And yeah, you can clean out pretty good. That's the nice thing about being leather. If it was cloth, that would have permanently damaged the cloth and you're pretty much screwed. So one of the bonuses to having leather. Again, I'm going to get the sunlight more on the chair here so you can see it. Okay, that's the best I can do with the lighting. Because I've got a protective thing on my windows. Somebody built them wrong, and heat and cold get out, and so this is the most light I can get out on a sunny day. So there's the chair. Let me turn it this way. So you can see Paimon pretty good with the sun on her. Pretty cool, actually. Yeah, it's going to be a good one maybe for the... Oh, you know, I just realized I've got this in the wrong format. Oh my gosh, really? I was going to do this horizontally. Oh, I can't win. Oh well, I'm just going to leave it in the phone format. I think the reason why is because if I tilt it the way people normally watch videos, they're not going to be able to see the whole chair in one go. So I guess I am going to be piecing this on with the other video after all. This is a cursed video. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up here. Again, Paimon in the sunlight. Let me get her closer to the sun again. Okay, there she is in the sun. And she's beautiful. I love it. So I can get a good shot. This will probably be the only time in my entire life where I pay this much for a chair. It's just honestly kind of ridiculous, but it's probably the only chair I'll have like this in my entire life. So I just wanted to invest one time in a really awesome chair. I'll turn it here with the sun. And I hope whoever else got it is enjoying it and not regretting their purchase, because again, very expensive. Very expensive. But I've definitely been happy with it. It's held up good. Sure, when I start spending a long time in it, maybe there'll be more wear, but it's still very supportive here. The back, all that stuff, the cushion, everything. I didn't like get a lumbar option with it, or maybe would have done that, but it's still fine. It's still really good. I like it. Just dusty. Okay, I think I've said everything I can remember to say on this. You know, I bet you there's some kind of aftermarket company out there that sells wheels that would pop into these sockets here for a standard chair. And you can probably get ones that have like this monster truck type wheel. And if you had that, you can run this around on any floor, any surface, no problem. But you'd have to order those types of wheels and put them in there. And then, yeah, at that point, you could scoot this around on dirt, on mud. You know what I'm saying? Those type of wheels. I bet you they're out there. Somebody's got to have made them somewhere. I thought about looking into it myself, making them, and I was like, you know, they probably exist by somebody somewhere. But hey, if you see this and that suits you, maybe give it a shot and make some money. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the bottom. Yeah, this video's getting too long. Let me show you the bottom if I can really quick here. So that part I was talking about that connects up to the top, can you see? Well, I can't stick my fingers through. Oh yeah, I can kind of stick my fingers. See? So you can wipe it all the way down to the bottom. And if you really, really had to clean in depth, you could probably take these different components apart, but I would recommend not doing that if you can help it. But you could. You could separate where the rings are and get the thing apart to essentially do some maintenance on it. Yeah. That's pretty much what I got to say about all that. Very nice chair. Okay, well, if you found this useful, a like would be appreciated. And I do mostly Genshin stuff on this channel, but I'm going to branch out into different games. So if you find that stuff enjoyable, go ahead and hit subscribe. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. For people I've said I was going to put this out for a while, I apologize. Like I said, it's been a cursed video. I've had a hard time getting this done. I'm just going to give it a good spin and show you, like, it goes pretty good. I was surprised. I've never really done this. I've got a family member that loved to do this. Just spin it. So it's got some good spin. All right, that's it for me, everybody. Adventures. Catch you on the next one. I love how I said I wasn't going to do a compilation, and now I'm going to have to edit this together. One more thing, bonus content. This is how much this will recline, in case you're curious. I've got it back as far as it'll go. That's the furthest back recline I can get out of the chair. And probably because it's the safest recline. Any more than that, the chair might tip over and they don't want to get in trouble. You know, so the company limited it to that much. case you're curious, forgot to put that out there. So that's how much it'll tilt back. Okay.